Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. My name is Julian, and this is the Drops episode for week 24 of the fantasy hockey season. Now, for a lot of you, this is the fantasy finals. So, in my opinion, if a player is just not producing for you right now, drop him. If there's somebody out there that's actually performing really well right now, at this point, you have nothing to lose because you can't really wait anymore for this player to wake up. Now, I'm recording this video a little bit in advance. So if some of the names that I drop here, they start picking it up before, I release this video and then you see that, oh, he's got points in the last 2-3 games, I apologize. Don't drop that player. But if they are still cold after I release this video, probably time to consider dropping that player. Before we get started, guys, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. More than half of you guys that watch this channel are not subscribed, so it would mean the world if you did hit that button. Let's jump into it, guys, and let's start with some forwards that you should consider dropping. And first on the list is Alex DeBrincat, who is ice cold right now. It's a bit of a hot take, I can see that, guys, but DeBrincat has 1 point in his last 5 games and 2 points in his last 9 games. He's not doing very well at all, and it's hard to wait for a guy, especially if this is your last week. If you do still have a week next week, it could be worth holding out and hoping to God that he turns things around. But right now, it's not looking like he will, and it's really hard to hold on to Alex DeBrincat right now. So if you have to, and there's somebody out there that's actually producing pretty well right now, I would consider dropping him. Then I have Nazem Kadri, who I guess is also a little bit of a hot take, but he's playing on the third line right now in Calgary with Nick Ritchie and Dylan Dubé. The deployment is terrible there, and he is not producing. Now, I get that he's still getting some power play time, but it doesn't seem to be enough for him to really put up the points right now. And right now, if he's not producing, if someone in your lineup is not producing, and this is your fantasy finals, it's hard to, rationalize hanging on to them because, yeah, it's possible they break out next game, but, if they're ice cold, it's probably more worth grabbing someone who's a little hotter right now and can actually help you win this week. And Andrei Kuzmenko is the kind of guy who's super streaky, right? For weeks now, he was insanely hot. But if you look at his ice time over his last few games, hasn't been very good. His points have not been there at all. He's gotten no points over his last 3 games. And if he is still cold by the time this video goes out, guys, Andrei Kuzmenko, I'd probably consider dropping him. Obviously, he's the kind of guy who can break out any game and go crazy. So if you're desperate and there's really nobody else available, hang on to him and cross your fingers. But if there is somebody else out there that's putting up points, maybe like a Boone Jenner or something, Kuzmenko is definitely droppable. Chandler Stevenson is also droppable. He's playing on the third line with Phil Kessel. I mean, he's doing okay, putting up points every couple games or so, but the peripherals aren't really there. And 1 point every couple games isn't really good enough right now. I would consider dropping Chandler Stevenson if there are better players out there on your waiver wire. And finally, Artturi Lehkonen is a no-brainer drop right now. He's out 4 to 5 weeks. You don't have that much time left in the season, so drop him. Make room for somebody else on your lineup. As far as defense drop goes, guys, the number one guy I have here is Jacob Chychrun of the Ottawa Senators. Absolutely doing nothing right now, playing power play 2 in Ottawa. Last week, I know I highlighted Shabbat, who was also playing power play 2 with him, but it looks like Ottawa may have shuffled him back to the top unit, so Shabbat could definitely hang on to him. And Chychrun is really a guy who I'm looking at right now as a possible drop because he's not doing a whole lot of anything. If Shabbat also is back on that top unit when this video comes out and he's still on that top unit, Sanderson is also a drop. Gustav Forsling of the Florida Panthers, 61% rostered over his last dozen games. He hasn't done a whole lot. He did score a goal a couple of games ago, but other than that, guys, Forsling has been pretty much non-existent. The peripherals haven't really been there either, so he's not really my favorite option right now. You can hold him if there's really nobody else available, but Forsling really is not someone I'm crazy about right now. Rasmus Sandin, 52% roster of the Washington Capitals with John Carlson coming back. Sandin unfortunately doesn't have a whole lot of value anymore because Carlson will be taking a spot on that top power play unit. Then John Klingberg of the Minnesota Wild. He is getting top power play time in Minnesota, but John Klingberg is just not that good, unfortunately. And even with that deployment, he's not really putting up that many points. If you're super desperate and you're in a deep league, hang on to him. But if there's other defensemen out there or other forwards that you can pick up instead that are actually producing, I'd rather have that than John Klingberg. And finally, Luke Schenn of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I actually really don't want to drop him. But last game, Toronto healthy scratched him, and that's really risky. to be risking him being a healthy scratch on any particular night. That's not something that you want at all. And even if he does play the next 2 or 3 games, there's always that chance that he gets healthy scratched again, and that could really, really screw you over. So if there's somebody out there who's better than Luke Schenn, might be worth looking at him instead. Jumping into goalies now, and it's finally time to drop Jacob Markstrom if there's another goalie out there that's performing better. If this is your fantasy finals, I'm pretty scared to roll out Jacob Markstrom right now. Obviously, if you're looking at the waiver wire and you're seeing like Samuel Montembeault and Jake Allen and some really bad goalies at UPL, like guys that are really risky as well, I'd probably hang on to Markstrom and cross my fingers that he has one of those really good games like he had recently. He did get a shutout just a few games ago, so definitely he's still got it in him somewhere. You just got to figure that out. If there are some decent goalies out there, like maybe a Carter Hart or something, it might be worth grabbing him instead of Jacob Markstrom at this point. Jordan Binnington is someone that may be a drop if Joel Hofer keeps getting starts. Joel Hofer has started 3 games in a row now, 2 of them while Binnington, was suspended, but Hofer is playing really, really well. And if Hofer continues to get starts, Jordan Binnington will become a drop. Martin Jones is a drop as well. Grubauer is the starter in Seattle, so there's really no point holding on to Jones anymore. Aiden Hill at 30% rostered is a drop as well. With Logan Thompson coming back, he and Quick will be splitting the starts for the rest of the year, which leaves no room for Aiden Hill, unfortunately. So he's going to be a drop, guys. And then Jake Allen, the Montreal Canadiens, don't trust him anymore. The Habs have not been good. Montembeault has been better, and I just can't trust Jake Allen right now. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the content today, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I hope you guys do well this week and make it to your fantasy finals if you're currently in the semifinals, or if you're in the finals, guys, best of luck, and I hope that you take home that fantasy trophy. Take care, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.